Hey dog lover, welcome to Wagging Tails Unleashed, where we discuss all things man's best friend. Well, I'm James and this is my co-host Zion, and today's format's going to be a little different. We're going to be just kind of off the cuff and chill, and we're going to talk about the things that I've learned from our shelter dogs, Zion and Obi. Hopefully we'll get Obi in. We adopted Zion and Obi about 7 years ago. They're both shelter dogs, and they've actually taught us a lot about life. It's funny, you know, we're dog parents. We don't have any actual children, but for those of you who are parents, I'm sure that you've realized that a lot of times you learn from your kids. Your 3-year-old, your 5-year-old, your 10-year-old can actually teach you lessons about life. And although dogs aren't the same as kids, we still can learn from these animals, little lessons in life. So the first thing I learned is the value and the significance of actually saving a life. I mean, you know, a lot of these dogs at shelters, he was from a kill shelter that was rescued from down south and brought up here, and so was Obi. So some of these dogs they're kind of on death row. A lot of them get euthanized. Hopefully most of them get adopted, but you're literally saving a life. And not only saving a life, because some of these dogs can end up in the shelters for years. So you're able to provide this animal with a loving family and with freedoms and a life that they would never have if you didn't choose to adopt them. And it's often made me realize how important and valuable it is for adoption. Now dogs are valuable. They're God's creatures, but they're not, you know, they don't have the same value as a human being, although some would debate that. But there are so many children that have they've been dealt just a bad hand in life, and they desperately just want a family to love them. And when they are adopted by a good loving family, it changes their world. You literally could save someone's life from maybe going down a really destructive path, saving them from that and providing a good family loving structure, and they could grow up being just a great loving person. So while for my wife and I, human children might not be the plan for us. I mean, you never know what could happen in the future. But on a pet level, we've realized, okay, we've changed the lives of our 2 dogs and given them a chance to live. And the second thing that I learned from our little shelter dogs, and I brought Obi out here because he taught me this: we're all capable of healing. And a lot of people experience trauma at a young age, which they carry with them throughout life. Obi was in a shelter for the first whole year of his life until we adopted him. And when we got him, the tip of his tail was missing hair. So obviously, like, his diet wasn't that great and he had some health issues. We realized he had some other traumas. Whenever we would use a fly swatter and just do this swatting motion at a bug or whatever, he would get scared and like run out of the room. So we suspect that he was beat. And obviously that brings trauma along. He was afraid of a lot of things. So over the years, we've seen him heal. We've seen him physically heal by providing him with good, healthy meals. His skin issue has healed. He had a lot of allergies. That's improved a lot. We've seen him emotionally heal, getting over some of his fears. And he's a really good, well-adjusted dog. So our pets can heal from trauma, and we could heal from trauma. I still have some issues from my childhood that I'm carrying around with me at 50 years old. Some things I've been healed of, but other things I'm still working through. But I have hope, and I know that there is healing. If you're getting value from this content, please consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that notification bell so that you can be notified when we put out new videos. Another thing that I learned is some of our weaknesses can actually become strengths, or at least become appreciated by others. Going back to Obi, when we first got him, soon after we realized, okay, he was a little mentally off. But you know what? That weakness is, I think, part of what makes him so sweet. I think it's why he just seems happy all the time, just happy-go-lucky. I think it's also part of his innocence. Like, he is really a good boy. Like, he hardly gets into any trouble. and he really wants to please us. So he doesn't want to do bad things, right? It's almost like that just mental innocence that he has spills into his behavior, and he's such a sweet, good boy. Now Zion, he's very smart. He's a smart dog, and we love him to death, and he's sweet too, but he also can be a little mischievous, all right? Because his brain sometimes is working a little too overboard, and he gets himself in trouble. But like Obi, man, he's just sweet and innocent. I think of a lot of humans with some mental challenges, and they're some of the nicest, sweetest, happy-go-lucky people. And you look at them and it's like, wow, we can learn from them. And despite Obi's little setback, he provides such value to us. Not only companionship and just being a great pet, but he protects our chickens. I mean, anything comes near our chickens, man, he is ready to throw down. So Obi hasn't allowed some of his challenges to prevent him from living a good, fulfilled life. And neither should we. And the last thing that I learned from our shelter dogs is obedience or following the rules leads to more freedom. For many years, when we would take hikes with the dogs, we put them on a leash. And a couple years ago, we decided, all right, let's go in the woods and let's see if we could go off leash with them. So we were deep in the trail. There were no other people around or other dogs. We had them off leash. They were doing pretty well. A few different times, Zion would see something and he was off. Obi would, as soon as we would call him, he would run to us, and then he'd be looking for affirmation. And so we quickly realized that Obi really wanted to be obedient, and he was, he's a people pleaser, and that made us trust him more. Speaking of Obi, come here, bud, come here. I was just telling him about how obedience equals more freedom.
Yep.
So now, like when we take walks just around our lake, there are times where we're kind of in an area where we're in a field, and unfortunately we can't trust Zion to go off leash because he hasn't proven himself to have amazing recall. But Obi will let off, and
incredible recall.
Yeah, great recall. And then it just made us realize, because we trust him, because of his obedience, he gets a little more freedom than Zion. And so in life, it's like in a marriage, if she knows that she could fully trust me and that I'm trustworthy, which she does, not that like I need her permission to do things,
right.
but when I go get together with buddies and stuff like that, she doesn't have to worry. She doesn't have to.
I don't think about it.
Yeah, she doesn't have to like check my emails for anything or my texts, or like she trusts me. So I have the freedom to just live my life and do things without worrying about her needing a checkup, or without her needing to worry.
Also, is the world's best dog dad.
No, I try. You could apply this to work. If your employer sees you as someone who follows the rules, always does what he needs to do, he comes on time, he doesn't leave early, then they're going to be able to entrust you with more responsibilities, increase your pay. So this is something that could spill into a lot of different areas of our lives. All right, so those are some of the things that I've learned from our shelter dogs. And if you are interested in getting a shelter dog, I made a video on all the things that you need to look into and consider before getting a shelter dog, so you could check that out here. And if you're new to our channel and you haven't subscribed yet and you'd like to be part of the family, we'd love to have you on board. As always, in the description below, we'll have links to all of Zion and Obi's favorites. We thank you for spending some time with us, and from Zion and myself, we hope that you have a perfect day.